Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my Gig-Olos and Gigolettes. It's me, Gio. Y'all know who the fuck it is. Alrighty, I'm out here doing some Amazon right now. I think I'll be able to squeeze in some deliveries between this block ending and my next one beginning. And then I'm gonna watch UFC. I'm so excited to watch some UFC. Oh God. Finally a live sports event. And it just happens to be mixed martial arts. All right. I was gonna make this video. I think I crossed the 200,000 mile threshold a month ago. But I told myself I'm not gonna make the video until my car is clean. This car has been absolutely filthy, but with the girlfriend's help yesterday, finally made it spick and span. So now it is camera ready. So this is my 2015 GMC Terrain SLE. At the moment of this recording, it has 202,577 miles. Right now, well, obviously I'm gonna film, I'm gonna record the inside of it. But right now, I want to talk about like the cost of owning this car over the last 4 years. I got it February. I took ownership of the car February 16th, I believe, 16th or 17th of 2016. I had a full-time job back then, and I probably had 50 or 60 Uber rides under my belt. And then I got fired from my full-time job in May of 2017. That's when I became a full-time driver. At which point I think I had about, let me raise the windows up a little bit. When I started being a full-time driver, I think I had about 55,000 miles on it. Because I was already driving it a lot, because I was driving pretty much every weekend in the summer of 2016. I drove a little bit less in 2017 until I got fired. That's when I became a full-time driver. 2018 is probably when I drove this car the most. And that was also the same year that I racked up the most in maintenance invoices. And then I didn't drive it as much because I got my Infiniti in June of last year. And I've been mostly driving this car in 2020. And this car is solid. It's hard as rock. It's, I love this car. I absolutely love driving this car. I love being in this car. It's been very good to me, but I've also been very good to it. But like I mentioned, in 2018, I had about $7,000 of invoices. That's for repairs and for just like general maintenance and tires and stuff like that. 2017, I probably spent less than 2,000, not gonna lie. 2019, probably 4,000. So in 3 years, and 2.5 of those was spent as a full-time driver. Not $4,000 in 2019. 2019 was probably like 3,000, yeah. Because the biggest repair I had that year was a leaking oil pan. So total repairs on this car, we're talking about, in terms of invoices and 2 sets of tires, we're looking at about $13,000 to $14,000 total. I might be slightly off on that one. If you want to just round up to 15,000, fine. When I got into this car, it was a super dumb purchase because I had negative equity on another loan, which rolled into this car. So this car would have been like $23,000. But the total amount financed when I drove it off the lot was like $37,000. So this is how you turn a $25,000 car into a $37,000 car. Bad move, really bad move. Do not roll negative equity into a new loan. It's a horrible idea. But you live, you learn. I'm not doing that again. But like total cost, so let's say $37,000, which I still owe on this loan. It's gonna be paid off soon. Let's go ahead and add all that together. $37,000 plus $15,000 in maintenance invoices, plus, I mean, easily $10,000 per year as a full-time driver. So, I mean, when I'm a full-time driver for rideshare and all that stuff, fuel costs probably over that time, probably close to $30,000 in 4 years. Because I wasn't driving nearly as much. When I wasn't a full-time driver, obviously. And I remember when I was driving weekends only, I would like pretty much buy like 1 tank of gas, and that would last me the entire weekend. So that'd be like 430 miles maybe. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably $30,000 in invoices in fuel. So right there, you're talking total cost of ownership for the car, not including insurance. 37,000 plus 30,000 plus 15, so 67. Or yeah, anywhere from $82,000 to $85,000 in the last 4 years. Yeah, just keeping it real. The maintenance invoices, I'm going to list off everything that's been repaired on the car and how some of it is my fault. In 2017, if memory holds up, a new set of tires, so that was about 1,100, I think. A new radiator and a water pump. So yeah, that was it in 2017. In 2018, oh no. Yeah, in 2018 was the next round of repairs. In 2018, oxygen sensor, fuel sensor, obviously brakes and everything that have been repaired numerous times. What else have I had? I had the radiator I had the alternator repaired in 2019. I got the windshield wipers repaired this year. Everything under the hood is more or less stock. It's, you know, more or less still new. I've had so many fucking oil changes. I've had to get the car, the wheel alignment, probably 8 to 10 times since I've had this car, and most of that's my fault, is hitting the speed bumps too quickly. Like, I remember one time I hit a pair of tracks really bad in Berwyn that fucked up the car really bad, but the suspension is original, it's stock, engine is stock, transmission is perfectly fine. My 200,000 mile GMC. What else is I gonna mention? Air conditioner works perfectly fine, heat works perfectly fine. I have had to replace the wheel bearings probably, I'm gonna say 5 times on this car. I think, if memory holds up, I might be a little off on some of these. If memory holds up, I think every single bearing has been replaced, except for one of them's been replaced twice. So yeah, I've had and every single time you get a bearing replaced, you have to get the car aligned again. But yeah, suspension's good. There's one issue though, whenever I have the heat on in the chillier months, for some reason, whenever I turn the dial to like the first or second one, the car, like, it makes a squeaking sound. Sounds like there's something squeaking underneath coming out from the vents. Not sure why, but it does happen. Other than that, the car's in great shape, and I've only had everything that's been repaired has only been done at the dealership. I've only ever taken this car to get serviced at the dealership, and that might be, I mean, that's why I'm saying it's like, that's what I credit to the longevity of the car and why it runs so well. But then again, as you guys know, like I mentioned, I put probably $15,000. I've spent about $15,000 on repairs on this car in 4 years. So some of you might be like, what the fuck? Some of you might be like, that's it. I have to also mention maybe just because I'm a dumb consumer, whenever they say, hey, you need a transmission fluid replacement, I say, okay, do it. If they say, hey, you need your your brake fluid replaced, I say, okay, do it. Whenever they recommend like a fuel system cleaning and that costs like $300 at the dealership, I say, okay, do it. Yeah, like, I mean, to me, with using my using caveman logic, the way I see it is the mechanics that work at the dealership, all they do is work on GMCs all day, every day. So the likelihood of something going wrong or the repair going bad is lower because these people are experts. They're fucking with GMCs all day, every day. I'm not saying your friendly neighborhood mechanic isn't as qualified. All I know is I've been burned in the past way too many times by cheap mechanics who promise you they can get the job done, you know, for a cheaper price. They do get the job done, and then the fucking work is horrible, and you have to go back to get something else repaired because they fucked it all up. But yeah. Oh yeah, I had a leaking oil pan. I got that repaired in 2019 too. So I have a laundry list of invoices. I can pull them all up if you guys want to see them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I love driving this car. I can say right now on record, no matter what, well, there's no value in this car anyway. It's got 202,000 miles on it. Let's be real here. I will never sell this car. Under no circumstances will I ever sell this car. Even if the engine completely blows up, I'll get it towed somewhere and it will always be in my possession. I have no intention of, and I think it's kind of dumb to trade in cars, in my opinion. And feel free to disagree with me, fine. This car has been very good to me. I've been very good to this car. I usually generally feel like, to me, a car is a tool to make money. This tool has been used and abused a lot over especially the last 3 years. But I've tried to take the best care of this car as I could, and it's been relatively good to me. But like I said, and that's why I'll make another video later talking about like why your dollar per mile average really matters, especially in terms of like, you know, a high mileage car. And we'll make another video about that later. But now I want to show you the inside of the car. All right, so, and the outside. Here's the outside of my 2015 GMC. It's bright red, as you guys see. Never really a huge fan of the color, but it's grown on me. And like I said, this has been it's a 202,000 mile car. I still think it looks great though. Sounds good, you guys can hear it. It drives smooth. The rims are a little scuffed up, but that's what happens when you drive the fuck out of a car. It's got a little bit of an oil or a little bit of grease right here. It's nothing too bad though. I think it's a good looking car. The paint is still really good. I've had it buffed a couple times. There's a little bit of paint right there that needs to get buffed out. This scuff is relatively recent right here. That can get buffed out, it's no big deal. This cracked bumper back here is from some bimbo that hit me on Montrose like 2 weeks after I started driving full time. We exchanged information, but I was like, man, it's gonna cost me more. Like, I don't know. I never got it fixed. It wouldn't be an expensive fix. It's like $400 something. Eventually. Yeah, this side is not really looking too bad. It's more, it's not as beat up as the other side for some reason. A little bit of, a few dings and dents here and there. A little bit of, a little paint chip there. This right here is, you guys notice this right here? This was another Uber driver that did that. I remember that was after I was waiting for a passenger at the United Center on like a Friday, Saturday night, and some idiot Uber in a BMW backed into me, and he's like, "Oh, you're good, and then he sped away. So that should have been a clear indicator that something was not good. But it didn't really get much worse after that. I mean, I could get that replaced, I just chose not to. But I'm probably just going to leave that alone. I definitely want to get the rear bumper fixed. Just a little bit of little dings there, you see that? Yeah, looks like all things considered, the amount of abuse I put this car through, it still looks pretty good. So yeah, now we're gonna check out the inside. And here's the inside of it. Let's go to the front seat first. Little few tears on the inside, on that seat, in the driver's seat. It's my lumbar cushion. Otherwise than that, the car's, you know, look at that, 202,000 miles. So yeah, I got magnets everywhere in here. I think the interior, I mean, it's a little dusty too. I didn't do that good of a job cleaning it, but the interior's, I mean, interior's looking good, right? Like, I always ask, you know, back when rideshare was a thing, I would always ask the passengers. They'd ask me, like, some of them who are GMC fans would be like, how do you like this car? I'm like, I love it. And then I'd be like, how many miles do you think this car has on it? They'd be like, oh, I don't know, 50, 60. I'm like, try 200,000. And they'd be like, oh, okay, wow, this thing's really sturdy. And I'm like, yeah, this is a very, very, very sturdy car. Let's go back out. I mean, the interior is clean. Like, it's like I said, when you imagine a 200,000 mile car that's had, no joke, 15 or 16,000 people getting in and out of it over the last 3 years, this is not what you would imagine that car would look like. It's clean, it's well maintained, it's well kept. You know, the carpet still looks good. Who the fuck is calling me? Alright, I'll call them back. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry to get interrupted. So, yeah, I mean, everything looks good. I'll go take you around this side really quick. I will be upfront about this. There was a tear in the leather right here. I'm not entirely sure from what. This happened a couple years ago. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I just bought like replacement leather, right? So, I mean, if you know where to look, you're gonna spot it. So you can see that. That's what pretty much all this looks like under here. The body shop I go to here and there, they said they could probably fix all this. They said they could probably get me brand new seats, like seat covers, leathers, for like maybe $400. So maybe I'll take that off. Maybe take them up on that offer eventually. Show you the trunk. So disorganized right now. I got a lot of shit in here. This is my little dolly contraption here. Just in case I need it, which I need it more often than I care to mention. This is my big ass caviar bag, which Caviar sent me. That's pretty cool. And I got a snow brush for some reason and some shoes. But yeah, I love this. You know, I love GMCs. I personally think GMCs are super overpriced, but the quality of them, you know, they're good. Everyone guaranteed me. Everybody guaranteed me that this car would be falling apart at 150,000 miles, and they were wrong. You know, the build is firm. It's been a very sturdy car, and I definitely see myself buying another one. Not the most practical car for rideshare or gig work, not gonna lie, but in terms of overall quality and reliability, you can't go wrong with a GMC. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I want to thank y'all for watching. Everyone, please stay safe, stay driven, stay healthy, stay classy. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.